I was born and raised in St. Louis. I am the youngest of three siblings.
Oh, you youngest.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, I have a brother, a sister, Deborah. I have a brother, Darren, who's now deceased, and then it's myself. I also found out later on that I also have a brother and sister on my father's side who I never met.
You never met.
Um,
Oh, I-
my dad's side, matter of fact, I've never met anybody from my dad's side of the family other than my dad. So I don't know the other part of me,
wow.
which
So, and why
was
is
the
that? Like,
intro
have
to
you?
my book.
Okay, got you. Because I wanted to ask you. So you was born into a single parent household. Like, how did that start
Mhm.
with you? Um,
So, and this was very interesting. I decided to put this in my book, but I was born through an affair.
got you.
My mother and father, they kind of got together because they worked together because my mother was a bus driver for a company in St. Louis and my dad was an operator. And so here I am as a result of that.
Wow. Okay. Oh, so maybe that's why you haven't got to know your other siblings. So, have did you grow up with your father? Did you have a relationship with him?
No, I'm almost 44 years old as of Monday. I've only seen my father maybe twice before he
Mm,
passed.
mm,
And we have a volatile relation. Well, not a volatile relationship, but it wasn't the
close.
best relationship.
Mm.
It was kind of like you're there.
And
So,
why do you think that was? Like, did you ever address it with him? Did you have that conversation?
partly because from what I was told via him through my mother, because I witnessed a lot of kind of arguments between my mother and father. It was because of one, me being in a wheelchair, and two, me
Mm,
being later gay, of course,
yes.
which that can play a lot into one's psyche. But as you can see, I've kind of manifested through that and kind of worked through my own demons, which plays into kind of the persona you see today, which we'll get into a little bit later.
Right, sure. Yeah, because I just wanted to kind of get because I kind of figured that, especially when you say that you was a product of an affair, and then the fact now, no offense, but I want to ask you this. Did anyone in your family or anybody around you ever felt like your condition was karma in regards to that affair? I'm just curious. Did they ever feel like that was karma?
Um, it's interesting you asked that question because my father alluded that to my mother in a sense.
Mm.
And so as I've grown up, I've come to understand that my mother had some guilt in blaming herself for that. So it wasn't said to her by any of my family members. It was kind of said from my father's perspective.
That's kind of harsh. I mean that, and so did he say it in a form of him having some type of accountability because he was the one that was a willing participant in the fail, or he was just blaming her,
No, just blaming her.
just blaming her only.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which it kind of plays into a part which I never talked about in my book, but it's part of the reason that she chose the religion that she chose because part of her decision, she felt like she made a mistake on my behalf because of the decisions that she made. So I believe, I haven't said this to her, but I believe part of her choosing to be a Jehovah's Witness was because of that.
And why you feel that way? And I'm still listening to you, but I gotta charge my light, but I'm listening.
Because she's never really said this to me. We've kind of talked about it. She's had some mistakes, which I'll never put that out there because that's my mom's business, that she regrets doing. And so she felt like I was her rainbow baby. But, you know, as we all grow up and grow and, manifest into the people that we are, we kind of regret some of the decisions that we make. So I believe that she kind of felt, well, is what I've done kind of my mistake or is it something that God wanted to teach me? And I feel like I wouldn't be the person that I am if it wasn't for my mother. I'll say that.
Okay, and yeah, thank you for sharing that because Yeah, because I always wondered that because I know a lot of people tend to say that your karma may, it may not be directly towards you, but it will come down on your children. So that's why I wanted to ask that question and find out, how your mother reflected on that. So I know that she does have some type of remorse, and I know she probably felt a lot of guilt. So how did she get through that, other than joining the Jehovah Witness faith? How else did she
Um,
cope with that?
we have a small family circle, but a large family circle. If it wasn't for my aunts and uncles and the family around us to support her, they played a big part in that. So we grew up on love and supporting, um, respecting one another and helping each other out. So she got through it through our family circle.
Yeah, so let me ask you, like, being that you mentioned about your father not being present, so so you look to your brothers as a brother, as a more of a father figure, because I think you mentioned before that you and your brother had some differences as well.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did. We did. Like I said, my brother was 13 years my senior,
Mm,
so of course he
mhm.
grew up. He was grown by the time I grew up, so it was kind of like you became the golden child.
He
You
was
can do
grown.
no wrong.
Yeah.
You know that sort of thing.
Mhm.
So it was kind of like I can't stand you, but nobody can talk about my brother.
Mm,
What I've kind of learned through, just the introspection of writing the book, and I kind of got this closure before he passed away, and I hope I don't get emotional saying this, that, even though he was hard on me, that he really paid attention to what I did. And so, part of our relationship was kind of crazy because my brother was addicted to drugs. And so
mm,
I could I had a hard time accepting who the addict was versus who the person was. So my journey was, this is not something that your brother would do, but this is what the addict would do. And so
mm.
it took for me to understand that, and I'm sorry that it took me until his deathbed to understand that. So it's kind of like when I love hard. And so when we talk about these beefs,
Mm.
this is part of the reason why this is who I am at the core, because I really love and care about people, and when people don't respect me, I feel kind of slapped in the face.
Got you. No, I totally understand that. So I want to get more into what was it like for you growing up, especially with your condition, and how your mom your primary caregiver? Like, did she care for you? Like, did you have to go back and forth to the doctors, and how was that like? And then balancing you going to school and just all of that. How did you manage all of that?
That was very interesting.
Mm,
Like I said, my mother was a full-time bus operator. So when my mother wasn't around, my sister, who was my older sister, was kind of my caretaker. So if it wasn't my mother, it was my sister or my aunt who was caring for me. It was either the three of them taking care of me, looking after me, helping me do the daily task and going to physical therapy and going to the doctor and things like that. So a normal day in my life, like I said, I grew up in St. Louis. Um, I was born with cerebral palsy at birth. I was actually 2 pounds 1 ounce, actually.
mm, mm.
I spent maybe 2 or 3 months in the hospital, and then after that, it was kind of touch and go. After that, kind of trying to build up the lung functions and all of that. So, once you get out of the hospital, you have to go through physical therapy, occupational therapy, and things like that. One of the things that I can say that I regret now growing up is that I was kind of being stubborn, and I was told that, I could have better functioning in my legs. But when you get comfortable with
Yeah.
something as a person with
Mhm.
a
Yes.
disability, it's this is something that I'm comfortable with, so this is what I'm gonna do. You know,
Right.
I've
Right.
always been the person to be able to walk, because growing up and being in school, I walked from class to class. I walked to get on the bus. I walked to, do certain things, but the strength plays a factor. And so by me not doing my exercises or me walking on the walker and becoming dependent upon the wheelchair as I got older in middle school and junior high, that plays a factor. When I was 9 years old, I moved to what's now a suburb in St. Louis called Jennings, which I was the first person that was in the district that was in a wheelchair. So
Mm.
I was the first person to have putting ramps and things in schools because people weren't used to that. So I had to be the
Wow.
first to do that. I had to be the
Wow.
first to, put
So you
elevators and things
so
in
you made history
ways. So I'm, a trendsetter.
there. Yes.
And that plays a part in a lot of my, upbringing. So one thing I learned from school, and shout out to the people that I went to high school with, shout out to Jennings High School.
Mhm.
One thing that they taught me, and I'll never forget it, is they never treated me like I was a person with a
Okay,
disability.
because I was gonna ask you, like, how was you treated? Was you ever bullied, teased?
Yeah, I was all that. I was
Oh.
all that. So when you can get your ass beat too, excuse my language, they
Mhm,
meant that.
mhm,
They meant that. And
mhm,
that's where that spirit of I'm not scared of nobody comes from.
mhm, mhm.
Because I learned, I done got pulled out of my chair, I done got pushed down hills and,
Oh, oh,
all of
no.
that. So it's kind of like, hmm,
Mm.
I ain't dead. I'm strong. I'm
Right,
persevering.
right.
So that's
Yeah,
just a part of who I am.
that's tough though. That's tough. Yeah. And so, when we went through those things, like, did you have a support system that would advocate on your behalf? Go to the school and address these issues.
Um, no. It was just more so I just learned to deal with it.
Mm.
I just, but I want to talk about one thing that I kind of talked about in my book that really was a pivotal moment for me because I said that I used to ride the school bus to school, and I remember, um, and I could talk about it now, being maybe 9 or 10 years old and being molested,
Mm.
and it kind of made me wonder about am I really gay? Am I really not gay? What's the
Right.
issue? All of
Mm.
that. And so going back to all the things that I had been through, I held on to that and I kind of, had a colorful imagination to kind of cope with a lot of what was going on. And so
Gotcha.
I remember kind of being like 13, and this is another revelation that I had that I talked about in my book. Um, Us having a neighbor and me being molested by a neighbor. One of the things that was pivotal during this time was the neighbor was also molesting another neighbor down the block. So I remember um, once he went to jail a couple years later, and he forgave me for that. Um, that's when I realized the power of forgiveness.
Well, you say he forgave you. What do you mean? What you mean?
Because, well, not he forgave me. He said, I'm sorry to me, and I forgave him. I'm sorry.
Oh, oh, okay.
And there's a story behind the name Tony. Tony is actually my middle name.
Mhm.
And Tony is who I created to escape from who I was. Let me explain that. My
Yes, please.
real first name is Derek, but I was ashamed of who he was because of all of the things that happened to me. So I didn't
Mm.
want to introduce people to that because of all the pain and the trauma that I experienced. That was kind of a new person, if you will. So I kind of realized from that point, after I got the apology from the neighbor, that this is who I'm gonna show up as, and if a person is really genuine with me, that's who I'm gonna
So,
show them the real me.
so he was never brought to justice. Like, you never, he was never
He w-
accounted for.
he he went to jail.
Okay.
I don't know what happened after that because I kind of lost touch, which that plays a part into the the activity that I engaged in because I was trying to find a way to escape.
Cope. Right. Yeah, so I understand that. So, and I know as you've gotten older, that's because I know a lot of people who deal with SA, they tend to become more promiscuous after that. So I understand that. Um, why am I hearing an echo?
I have no idea.
Oh, it just happened just a second ago. So I don't know whether you did something on your end.
Mm-mm.
Um,
You still hear it?
no, not now. Okay, it's gone. Yeah. So, how did you cope with that? Like, so how did you deal with that? I know you said that the power of forgiveness, and I know forgiveness alone, especially for something like that, is a major process. So, how did you like? What was that process like for you? What did that look like to you? The process of forgiveness and getting through that trauma.
Um, I can't say I actually figured that out until I got older. Um, and a little like humor and a like history. I figured out that I wanted to be a therapist when I was 17. And so one of my goals in life was to heal other people. And so part of my journey has been, spread light and cheer to other people because that's the way I'm going to heal. So it wasn't until I started getting therapy myself that I learned to heal.
Got you. And so, oh yeah, so you're saying that that was one of the reasons why you wanted to become a therapist. Let me go back a little bit. You said that you went your high school. You said went to Jennings High School.
Mhm.
And so I wanted to get more into that experience, especially in high school, because I want to know what that was really like for you. Was you a part of any clubs, extracurricular activities? How was your grades? Like, how was high school for you?
Um and I laugh about this experience. Like I said, freshman year, I remember, like eating lunch by myself because
Mm.
of the accessibility piece of it. But I remember because at first, if you were to pull out some old pictures, and I wish you had to pull some out because there were some on the page. I had like this Gumby cut. I was like a
Oh,
little
so
skinny
now you
kid.
make me want to look for it now.
I was in ROTC. There's a picture of me in ROTC with my ROTC uniform. I was the nerd. It wasn't until I got maybe until like 10th grade that I started becoming the popular kid in the Spanish club and the drama club, you
Are you
know.
okay? Are
Uh-huh.
you are you fluent in Spanish?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I
Okay.
am. So I, use the pain that I have and the humor that I have to become the person that I am. Um, Also on top of that, um, being the person that I am, we also get the fighter. I was also the person that was in trouble. You never knew what you can get from me on a mixed day.
Oh, okay. So what? I mean, so why is that? Did you like why you just feel the need to have your fences up and why was that?
It was more so of I had to learn, okay, you're the only person in a wheelchair. People are gonna try you. So it's just you have to be on guard at all times.
Mm. And
But
that's how you felt at all times?
but believe it or not, I was also a ladies' man. So like I said,
You was a ladies' man.
it just
Ah,
yeah, it just
what?
never. There are some pictures I would have to pull it out where people would be sitting. That picture right there, that that picture right there. How did you find that?
See, you talking about digging up stuff. So I was like, okay, let me do that. Okay.
Um,
Mm.
there was pictures of people of girls sitting on my lap.
Mm.
Just stuff like high school was an experience, but it was also horror, a beautiful nightmare. I'll say.
Beautiful nightmare. So tell me like how did that come about? Beautiful nightmare. What was beautiful about it and what was the nightmare?
The beauty part of it was that a beautiful butterfly began to emerge that was me.
Okay.
Um, and so once I became comfortable with who I was as a person and as a human being and as a teenager, then I could kind of relax. So the more I became to get into activities, oh, there's another thing. There's another picture because one of the things I used to participate in school talent shows. Because
Oh,
one of the hidden talents that I have that people don't know is that I can sing. I don't know why I said this because I know you're gonna make me sing.
yeah.
But
Oh, yes, 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 yes.
um
Yeah.
so
I mean, how?
there's
I mean, when you say sing, like sing, as far as like like whoo, like I mean, just sing, or you just yang around the house.
if I really put my mind into it, I can sing. I just be hemming and hawing. But I really can
Mm,
sing if I really
mhm.
you know, but up and I want you to maybe find this. There's a picture of me in like maybe the fourth or the fifth grade in a school talent show. I think I posted it where I was doing crisscross jump. And
Oh, really?
yeah, that
Are you good to
was
rap?
and that was a remember I said earlier that me and my brother didn't have the best relationship, but that was one of the moments where he and I connected. You know,
Oh, during
he
that time? How so?
uh-huh because he was a lot of things, but he would support me in a talent show.
Oh,
He's
really?
he's a comedian too. So he would kind of laugh at me, but then kind of give me tough skin when I needed it. So,
Hmm.
it's just who I am.
Okay. And oh wow, I wish I could have seen like I wish there was a video that would reemerge from that. What did you win actually?
Um, I think it was a trophy. I don't even have that trophy anymore.
Okay.
Um, oh wow.
Hmm.
I think that picture I think I might have been in the 11th grade there, 10th grade.
Hmm.
Cause I was homecoming on homecoming court, prom court. I was really, like I said, I was really
Oh,
popular.
you okay. Now let me ask you this. Again, and it's not taken away from your achievement, not taken away from popularity, but do you think that it was some, people that might be that might have patronized you because of your disability, or it was genuine? Was it genuine interaction?
Um, During that time, I think it was genuine interaction
Okay.
because I was told, and I'm still told to this day, I kind of did a poll when I was writing my book, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and asked people that knew me in high school and college, and what are some of the things that you love about me? And they said your bold personality, you're quick to tell people off, but you have a giving heart. So we know it's real, real, real,
Mhm.
recognize real. That's just me. So I think it was genuine.